Did you guys just pick up a brand new 4th gen Tacoma and you're looking for the first mods to do? Hold on. Right here we have our brand new Tacoma, and there's a couple things on this that we think is pretty useless. So we're gonna go in the shop, we're gonna get those things removed and show you how to do it. All right guys, if you couldn't tell from our intro, the things we're gonna be removing from our Tacoma is this atrocious front lip here on the front bumper, and then these pretty useless side steps. So most of the lower trims on the Tacoma is gonna come with this factory front lip, and honestly, I think it looks pretty terrible, and I don't think it's really doing you any good besides maybe 0.1 miles per gallon, which I think we can lose to make the front end of this Tacoma look a lot better. If you guys are gonna be doing any sort of off-roading, you would definitely wanna take this off because this is gonna get ripped off. You can barely even make it over a speed bump. So we're gonna go and take out the bolts and clips to get this thing removed, and it's gonna be the first modification that we make to this Tacoma. So before we go and remove this thing, let's just see exactly how much ground clearance we have with this installed. So from the ground to the bottom of this, we are at 8 inches. So let's go ahead and get this thing removed and see how much we've gained. All right, so we got the tools we need to remove this thing, and from what I can see, there is 11 10mm bolts. So we're gonna go ahead and remove those. We have our electric ratchet and extension and our 10mm socket. We have a couple bolts up here in the front, and then you have some on the inside as well. We're gonna go ahead, remove those, and see how it looks. All right, so just in 30 seconds, we got this thing removed. There's actually only 9 bolts, not 11. 2 of them, you don't have to remove that. I thought you did, but this looks way better now, and we have way more approach angle. We have much more ground clearance, and you can actually fit under your truck now to do your own oil change. All right, so for a quick comparison, measuring kind of in the same exact area, we're at like 14.5 inches now, where before we were at 8. So we gained a lot of clearance here. Something that's free and simple to do, and something that you don't need on your Tacoma. All right, so now that we got that thing removed and we have our Tacoma looking a lot better, we do need to put those bolts back in. Some of them hold the fender liner in place, and then the ones up front, you don't necessarily need to put them back in, but there is a metal clip there that's kind of loose, and by putting the bolt back in, it's gonna ensure that it's not gonna fall off. All right, so we got the front of our Tacoma looking a lot better by getting that factory lip removed. The next thing we're gonna be doing is removing these factory side steps. Now, if I'm being honest, these things make it more awkward than anything when it comes to getting in and out of your Tacoma. And if you're trying to do any sort of off-roading, these things are not what you want. These are very weak. They don't bolt to the frame like an actual rock slider does. These bolt to your rocker panels. They're very easily going to get destroyed if you hit these with any sort of rocks or trees or anything like that. So we're gonna go ahead, take them off, gain a little bit of ground clearance here, and in the future, we're gonna put some rock sliders on this, which are actually gonna be usable. So let's do a quick measurement here on these side steps. From the ground to the bottom of the step, we're looking at 1 foot. So let's go ahead and get these things removed. We have 8 12mm bolts along the bottom. Go ahead and remove those. So once you crawl under the Tacoma, you're gonna see that on the very front mount and on the very back mount, there is 1 bolt location that is slotted. Those 2 bolts, you only need to loosen a little bit. The rest of them you can take out completely, and then you can just take the side steps and slide it, and then you can remove it. This way, you don't have to worry about them falling on top of you when you take out that last bolt. All right, we got the 6 bolts removed, and the last 2 bolts are just loose, as you can see. Now all we need to do is slide it to get it removed. All right, so we got the factory side steps removed from the Tacoma, and this looks a lot better. I always jokingly say that when you remove these, you're giving yourself a free lift kit. Obviously you're not, but it looks higher because we removed this, which is hanging down from your rocker panel. Now these are aluminum, they're pretty lightweight, And like I mentioned before, these mount to the rocker panel, which is not very strong. So if you hit something hard with this, you're either gonna mangle this whole thing or potentially rip the threads out of your rocker panel, which is not gonna be good. That's why getting something that mounts to the actual frame is gonna be much stronger. But speaking of the bolts that we did remove, put those back in so as you're driving, road debris, salt, whatever it may be, it doesn't get in those threads up into your rocker panel and potentially start rusting it out over time. All right, guys, we got the passenger side all finished up. We got the bolts back into the holes, got that all sealed up. Now we're gonna head over to the driver's side and we're gonna get that side step removed as well. All right, guys, just like that, in 10 minutes, we got the front lip removed from the Tacoma. We got these factory side steps removed, and it is definitely looking a lot better. Now you can have a little bit more confidence if you're gonna be taking this thing off-road in its stock form. You're not gonna be ripping off your front bumper, and you're definitely not gonna have any issues here with those side steps getting destroyed. But if you guys are in the market for modifying your 4th gen Tacoma, make sure to head over to our website, YotaXpedition.com. Click the link in the description. If you guys are interested in more videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we'll see you guys in the next one.